Nassib has won multiple academic awards here at SU and recently scored an impressive 41 on the NFL's Wonderlic intelligence test. You are an Eagles fan. Okay, are you allowed to say that anymore?
I was an Eagles fan.
Pew told me that having a friend and Orange teammate Ryan Nassib also on the team has made for an easier transition into the NFL. Most of the reps he's actually taken so far have been with Nassib under center. Feels like nothing's changed. So I decided to throw a couple curveball questions at Jeremy Curley to get to know the guy a little bit better off the field. There's a new Tebow around these parts, but it's not Tim Tebow, it's Tommy Bohannon, who will probably be taking the starting fullback position come week 1. This week, ESPN analyst John Gruden has called Nassib the sleeper of this year's draft class. He even said the SU alum would be his top QB choice. See, Winters is used to the fields of Ohio, not the concrete of the tri-state area. During low-intensity practices, a knee can seem like it's back in top shape, but it takes more than just 5 months for a knee's muscle memory to redevelop.
What goes on in the locker room stays in the locker room.
It's likely that the Giants' new backup quarterback won't be an inside source for the New York Daily News or the Post. Ryan Nassib prefers his performance on the field to speak for him.
He's kind of like a quiet assassin. He doesn't say much, but he'll lead by example, and a lot of guys respect that about him, that he's not a rah-rah kind of guy and kind of, all right, we'll just go put it on the field.
Trying to get the reserved QB a bit more audible, I ask him a slightly offbeat question. Which Entourage character are you most like?
I am not Drama, not Turtle, not Vinny, so I guess I'm E.
You'd expect an NFL quarterback to see himself as leading man Vinny Chase, but Nassib sees himself as the micromanaging, business-minded E. And based on his background, that makes sense. Nassib has spent the last year taking master's classes at Syracuse University's acclaimed Whitman School of Management.
I get done running, come back, eat, and he would just do schoolwork till he fell asleep. So he's really dedicated to his schoolwork.
Nassib has won multiple academic awards here at SU and recently scored an impressive 41 on the NFL's Wonderlic intelligence test. During his time at Coach Coughlin's alma mater, Nassib also worked hard studying his NFL idols, like Drew Brees.
I've been watching his cut-ups since we got here, so I just try to do what Drew does.
And hometown hero, Matt Ryan.
He's just a Philly kid who made it, so, hopefully he'll be part 2.
Nassib may not have mentioned Eli Manning, but his on-field demeanor much reflects easy ease.
You never really see him flustered at all on the field. If you just watch him play, you probably couldn't tell if we were up by like 30 or down by 30. He's just always like the same even keel and calm.
Also, like Eli, Nassib is often cool in the clutch. But maybe it's because he's wearing his lucky sleeveless shirt.
It's like it was a white Under Armour, now it's completely brown. And
you never wash it?
Oh, I wash it. I wash it every day. I mean, I'm just saying, no matter the weather, I always, it could be snowing outside, so I always have the same shirt on. It's just a superstition.
I'd like to say I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
This is where the quarterback's personalities differ a bit. Nassib is superstitious.
He's superstitious in every way, more than anybody I've ever met. Does a bunch of different stuff. He does like a layup over the crossbar. He's like particular about the amount of steps he takes.
He throws it up behind his head, but if he catches it, he always says it's going to be a good day behind his back. If he catches it, but if he drops it, then I'm like, oh no, bad.
If Eli goes down, Big Blue fans can only hope that Nassib doesn't drop the ball. In Syracuse, I'm Iaconetti. You are an Eagles fan. Okay, are you allowed to say that anymore?
I was an Eagles fan.
The New York Giants' #1 draft pick, Justin Pugh, might be from Philly, but now he's loyal blue.
I'll be rocking all Giant stuff. My family has Giant stuff hanging outside of our house now.
This is what the Pugh crew looked like when he received the draft night call from Big Blue.
Once you get a call from a team that wants to spend that pick on you, they want to invest that in you, it's easy to switch over just like that. I mean, the whole time I knew this was a great organization, and learning from other players how great of the organization this is and how Coach Coughlin is. He's a Syracuse guy, so it was pretty cool.
Coughlin and Pugh already have something in common. Before they wore blue, they wore SU orange.
We can talk about Syracuse and the Giants. Yes, sir.
You said you're going to talk to Coach Coughlin about Syracuse. Have you?
No, not really. We're just going to focus on Giant football right now. Something I realized when I got here. I mean, Syracuse would be cool when we go play Penn State week 1. Obviously, it's in our backyard, in our stadium, so that'll be fun to talk about. But right now, all I'm worrying about is Giant football and making sure I get better and can help this team out.
Okay. You said in an interview that Coach Coughlin is the person you think of when you think of Cuse football. Correct.
Yeah, it was. Well, what happened was during the combine, I walked into the Giant room for the interview, and
you walked into the Giants room. That's why I was gonna say, like, you're not gonna think Donovan. Yeah.
And they had asked me, who the most influential Cuse alumni. I said Coach Coughlin, and then they're like, oh, we should draft you right now. Like, everyone started laughing, and it was kind of ironic, a couple months later they'd be taking me in the first round. So my stepdad told me after they drafted me, he's like, good thing you answered that question the way you did when you came into the room. He said it might have helped you a little bit.
That gave you major points.
Exactly, I know.
Pugh calls his last game with the Orange in the Pinstripe Bowl his favorite football memory, but he's hoping to create memories with the Giants that are even more super. My favorite football memory is going to the Giants Super Bowl.
Which one did you go to?
The last one.
The last one?
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be making some more memories. You walk at that's the thing about coming here. I mean, you obviously see the banners they have hanging up, and you see the guys' names on these banners, and you're like, I mean, this guy's lining up right against me right now, and it's something that it makes you want to go get your name on one of these and earn one of those. So that's something that obviously is the only goal right now that I have.
Once sport becomes competitive, or once an activity becomes competitive, no longer is health the #1 principle.
Kyle Walters is a competitive bodybuilder. His day starts at 6 a.m. with 10 egg whites, mixed with 2 cups of brown rice.
It tastes good, I feel good.
Yes, he's also eating those 4 sweet potato pierogies and 2 more eggs, sunny side up.
Typical breakfast.
That's typical when Kyle's not training for a bodybuilding show. When he is, he eats at least 20 egg whites a day.
Do I like trophies more than I, like eating eggs? And, so I'll eat the eggs to win the trophy. It's okay.
When Kyle's trying to win trophies and needs his body in this shape, for 10 to 12 weeks, his regimen will intensify even more. To keep his metabolism burning, he'll disrupt his sleep for meals.
Yeah, he'll wake up at midnight, or he'll cook and go back to sleep, and he'll get up again somewhere around 3:30, 4, and do a protein shake.
Kyle hits the gym 6 days a week when he's training for a show. He'll do 90 minutes of heavy weightlifting and 80 minutes of cardio. When Kyle's not training for a bodybuilding show himself, he's building other people's bodies as the head trainer at Lakeview Gym in Gitsonia, Pennsylvania.
We don't want to just mindlessly rap.
His office here is a shrine to all the bodies he's transformed. One of those transformations is 20-year-old Ryan Maginik, who started competing in bodybuilding shows 2 years ago. He understands his lifestyle is not for everyone.
Not many people want to do the dieting and cardio. It's a lot of sacrifice.
Competitive bodybuilding was too much of a sacrifice for Tammy Ambrose.
You live, eat, and breathe it in order to be good at what you do. As soon as something becomes competitive, it becomes pretty all-consuming.
And that's us backstage.
Kyle used to train Tammy for shows, but she stopped competing when she felt the lifestyle was overly intense. She would spend about 2.5 hours a day in the gym, and going out to dinner with friends and family led to too much temptation.
In the end, I just stopped going out a lot and doing things because I was in that zone, which worked for them, but 3 years of that wasn't much of a life.
Taking any activity or sport to an extreme can be dangerous and unhealthy.
The hundreds and thousands of yards a swimmer does for competition, is that healthy? Is the 60 or 70 miles a week of pounding pavement healthy on the knees? Sure, if you're running, it's very healthy. Once you get competitive with any sport, the idea then isn't health, it's winning. So what are the things you're going to do and sacrifice to win?
Some bodybuilders might do steroids in order to win. Ryan is often asked if he takes steroids because of his size.
Hugs, not drugs.
He says he hasn't used steroids yet, but that doesn't mean he won't.
Yeah, I would.
Is there a lot of pressure?
No. Maybe on myself, from myself, but not, from an external person or source. So.
Kyle says there's good reason for the pressure.
They work. So people use them because done correctly, they make you bigger, they make you stronger, they make you faster, they make you recover better. If someone takes them and someone doesn't, they train the same. The person taking them probably is going to win.
It doesn't seem fair, right? That's why there are two types of bodybuilding competition shows: tested and non-tested. And it's exactly how it sounds. Tested competitions check for steroid use, human growth hormone, and prescription diuretics. Competitors who have used the banned substances are disqualified. Ironically, non-tested competitions turn a blind eye in a sport that is completely visual.
On stage, they don't say to you, oh, you're the healthiest person on stage, you're the winner. No, you look the best, or you're the biggest, or you're the leanest.
Dr. Michael Gabris, a cardiologist at the New York Heart Center, says substance abuse isn't the only health risk that comes along with bodybuilding. Heavy weightlifting can make the walls of the heart too thick.
Breath and bring it out.
The heart has to do two things. It has to squeeze the blood out, and then it has to relax to let blood in. And just like you see bodybuilders get muscle bound or they can't stretch out, the heart can actually get muscle bound, if you will, and it can squeeze just fine, but it can't relax.
A heart that can't relax can cause shortness of breath, fluid in the lungs, and even heart failure. Their heavy-duty lifting might damage their heart, but funny enough, Dr. Gabris says this: their weekly cheat meal is not a harmful aspect of the bodybuilding lifestyle.
To go out and to get 2 or 3 dozen wings, 5 or 6 pieces of pizza, maybe a Pepsi, maybe a little bit of ice cream, and a hot dog or two is probably a typical cheat.
An 8,000-calorie cheat, typical for a bodybuilder, because when you lift heavy weights, you eat from heavy plates. In Gibsonia, Pennsylvania, Ashley Iaconetti, NCC News.